we're going to start with a story that the whole world seems to be talking about, everybody, and it is the sex trafficking trial of Sean Diddy Combs. It's so huge. Yeah. So the details are now emerging from his former girlfriend, Cassie Ventura's testimony. A lot of the details that are coming out, boy, they are horrific. Now, we're not going to get into them here, but Ventura has recounted graphic instances of alleged sexual and physical abuse. She's also claimed that Combs kept videos of her as blackmail. So the thing that we're starting the question really is, what service does this level of detail and this information that is coming out for all of us to consume, what does it do for the victims and also for the public? Like, do we need to hear all of this, Deepa?
I don't know. It's so crazy because, like you said, the details are so graphic. And when I hear the details, I'm like, I can't imagine going through something so traumatizing and having to relive that, but also with the public in your ear, giving their own opinions. And to me, what scares me the most about a trial like this is because we're dealing with superstars. It's almost like an entertainment shock value. Like every time a new piece of evidence comes out or a new story, you're like, wow, can this get crazier? Then the next day it does. So I'm a little bit fearful that our society is like, oh, looking at this as entertainment versus like someone's lived experience and they've had to go through this once and now they're going through it again.
So are you choosing, like, are you following?
No.
You're not stepping back.
I know like the Coles notes of it, but I wouldn't go into an article and read every single detail because I'm like, I don't know if I want to know all this information, to be quite honest.
Yeah, I understand that.
See, and I'm doing the opposite. I'm doing a deep dive. I want to know every single detail. I wish I was covering this. I wish I was in the courtroom because I think it's very important for everybody to hear the details. I know they are rough, but I think what we have to look at is we have a public persona who is well known, before this case, of course, for being fun and outgoing and successful, and he has this great story raised by his single mother, Janice, and then he like pulled himself up by his bootstraps and became this great guy. And then there are people, even with all these details, who really truly believe that Cassie is a gold digger, a person who's looking for an opportunity to take money from Diddy and that she liked the freak-offs and all of these details. So I think it's important for people to understand what's going on, because I think there's a nuance to sexual assault that people just don't understand. Because I'm hearing a lot, I'm reading the comments, and there are people saying, well, why didn't she just leave? She wasn't a prisoner. Why did she just leave? And it's like, you need to hear all the details. This young woman was 19 years old when she started dating this man who was 37 at the time. There's a lot that we need to unpack, so I think it's important for everybody to understand what went on in that relationship and to hear all the details, because
all allegations.
All the allegations,
right
of course, because even right now this morning, his team, the defense team, is presenting text messages showing that Cassie was in favor of the freak-offs. So it's going to be her word against his. So I think all the details, in order for this to be a fair trial, need to be out there.
You think?
Wow, yeah. You make a good point. I'm choosing to disengage. There are, I don't know if this happens to any of you, but particularly right now, it feels like there are a number of stories that we're trying to follow to be good citizens, keep engaged with the world. I checked into Cassie's trial the first day when she was giving evidence, when she was on the stand, so to speak, and I pulled back.
It's too much.
And yeah, it's too much for me. But here's the thing, I do feel it's important for it to be covered because it could spark change. It could expose sort of the patterns of abuse. And I do think it will help some people, but I'm choosing to disengage. And I'm trusting that journalists, advocates, and the courts will sort of carry that torch. But I'm good.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, because I think we have to talk about how the media is covering this, because there's one thing to report the details that are being revealed in court, and there's another thing to create a headline that is just for clickbait.
Right.
And I think there's a way to try to balance it. Some of the details are actually so horrific that you don't, it's clickbait by itself, if that makes sense.
You don't need to elaborate or...
But I think there's a difference between sensationalizing and then contextualizing. And I think to just pull one allegation and not talk about the allegations of the history of grooming and abuse, those are two different things to me. I do think it's important that all the information is out there. I think if you look at court systems around the world that are closed or are in communist countries, we always say, well, the court system ain't fair, because no one gets to see it. No one gets to hear it. The public needs to hear and see all of the details to ensure that the justice system is working properly in this case. And finally, as a parent, I mean, I have chosen your way, Andrea, which is I'm in for every detail, and it is hard. Sometimes I'm just like, I can't have any more, but I do think it's important as a woman. I think it's important as a mother of a daughter. But my daughter was watching the news and she goes, what's this about, Mommy? So I think kids are seeing this because it's everywhere. For me, I am not giving any details to my daughter. She's too young for this, she's 11.
Yeah.
But are we talking about consent? Yes. Are we talking about abuse of power? Yeah, we are talking about that. Are we talking about intuition, trusting your gut? Who can you trust, who can you not trust? Yeah. But these details, for me, as a parent, not for children.
Yeah.
For me, I can make that
And
choice.
it's horrific, you make a great point, and it's horrific. As horrific as the details are, we have to remember there's a young girl out there right now who's dating a guy who's not rich and famous, but he's putting her through the same thing. And she's gonna hear this and go, wait a second.
It's not okay.
It's not okay, and I don't like it, and he does blackmail me. So this is gonna help more than it's gonna hurt. I know it's hard to listen to, but there are a lot of women out there going through this.
Yes.
So I think it is important.
Hey, you, come a bit closer. We've got so many more must-see interviews, spicy debates, lifestyle tips, and pop culture moments. So subscribe to our channel by tapping the logo below and don't miss out.